They wanted a boy. That sentence followed me from the day I was born. I did not hear it at first, of course. I was just a baby. But later, as I grew up, I felt it in the silence, in the looks, and in the way people talked around me. My parents already had 2 daughters when my mother was pregnant with me. Everyone in the family was sure this time it would be a boy. They talked about it openly. They chose a boy's name. They dreamed of a son who would carry the family name. But I was born a girl. No one said anything loudly, but disappointment filled the room. My grandmother sighed. My uncle looked away. My mother smiled, but her smile was tired and weak. My father held me, but something felt missing in his eyes. As a child, I tried very hard to be perfect. I studied well. I helped my mother. I stayed quiet. I thought maybe if I was good enough, they would forget that they wanted a boy. But small words can hurt deeply. Too bad she's not a boy. If only she were a son. Girls leave the house one day. I heard these words again and again. Every time, they made me feel smaller. I started to believe that I was a mistake. That my birth disappointed everyone. At school, I was confident. At home, I was invisible. I watched my parents treat my cousin differently, because he was a boy. He was praised for small things. I was expected to do everything perfectly without praise. Still, I kept going. I told myself I would prove my worth. I would show them that a girl can be strong, smart, and successful. But deep inside, one question stayed with me. What if no matter what I do, I am still not enough, just because I was not born a boy? What happened next changed everything I believed about myself. As I grew older, the pressure became heavier. Relatives asked my parents about marriage plans for me, not my dreams. They talked about my future, as if it was already decided. Education was important, they said, but not too important. After all, I was just a girl. I felt angry, but I stayed silent. I worked harder than everyone else. I became the best student in my class. Teachers praised me. Friends admired me. Outside the house, I felt strong. Inside, I still felt unwanted. One day, I finally asked my mother the question that lived in my heart for years. Were you sad when I was born? She did not answer immediately. Her eyes filled with tears. Then she said softly, I was tired. I was scared. People wanted a boy, but I wanted a healthy child. That answer stayed with me. I realized something important. Society's expectations were not my fault. The problem was not me. The problem was the belief that a boy is more valuable than a girl. Slowly, I started to change the way I saw myself. I stopped trying to be perfect for others. I started living for myself. I chose my education. I chose my goals. I chose my voice. Some people did not like it. Some said I was becoming too bold. Too independent. Too different. But for the first time in my life, I felt free. I understood that being a girl was not a weakness. It was my strength. My story mattered. My life mattered. I was not born to fulfill someone else's wish. I was born to live my own life. And that realization gave me a confidence I had never felt before. Years later, things changed in ways I never expected. My success became impossible to ignore. I supported my family when they needed help. I stood strong when problems came. Slowly, the same people who once felt disappointed began to feel proud. One day, my father said something I never thought I would hear. You proved us wrong. Those words healed a wound I carried for years. I learned that sometimes, the world does not change first. We change first. And when we do, the world slowly follows. If you were ever made to feel less because of who you are, remember this: you do not need permission to be valuable. You do not need to fit into someone else's dream. They wanted a boy. But the girl they got became something stronger than they ever imagined. Hook, what if the thing that made you feel unwanted is actually your greatest power? If this story touched your heart, keep listening, because more real stories are waiting for you.